meteorologist Charlie Neese. Got an interesting situation this afternoon setting up and wanted to make sure that I stream this storm well before it comes into the metro area, because we are going to be seeing this come in from the west. It's going to be a strong thunderstorm. It's a supercell thunderstorm. It is sitting by itself. It is one of these classic situations where we could be seeing a severe thunderstorm that produces a tornado coming into the metro area in the next hour to hour and a half if it holds together. There's another one back to the west of there, back over Jackson, that could do the same thing. We're going to be watching this very carefully. I want to make sure that I'm on live as this comes through the area. And this is going to be something that, again, I think is going to be a storm. In meteorology, we call it the storm of the day. So we want to watch this very carefully. Understand that you are under a tornado watch anywhere in the area that is in red here, basically all of Middle Tennessee under a tornado watch. And that tornado watch expires, we've got a long way to go through all of Middle Tennessee until 10 o'clock tonight. So this is, I think, the biggest chance of severe weather and tornadoes is likely going to be over the next about 4 to 5 hours across Middle Tennessee. So make sure that you are prepared for this, and make sure that you pay attention to all warnings. We've got a warm, juiced up atmosphere. Here's our supercell thunderstorm that right now is back over Centerville. It is moving to the northeast, and it is headed. The next county in line would be Williamson County. Franklin, this storm is going to come very, very close to you. We're watching it as it's got this curved area in it, this notched area. That is an indication that we could be seeing the thunderstorm continue to rotate, and it could be a long-lasting thunderstorm. That's what we're looking at right now, is the potential that this is going to be a long-lasting, rotating supercell thunderstorm. And that's why we need to watch it so carefully. And it's going to be going into a highly populated area across Middle Tennessee. So let me send this real fast, because I want to make sure that my wife is able to send this link to folks so they can see the coverage, because there's going to be a lot of people who are going to need to see this over the next little bit. So you need the other? Okay. So Nashville, Williamson County, there's Hickman County where the storm is. You can see in the red box here, that's your tornado warnings. I'm going to look at this real quickly. It does look like back to the west that right in here is where we're going to be seeing the tornado. So if you live in Centerville, by the way, if you're watching from Centerville, make sure that you understand a rotating storm is about to come into downtown. The tornado warning for it right now says it's radar indicated. There have been times that this storm has produced a lowering for the potential for a quick development, and we're going to be watching this very carefully as it moves off toward the east. Let's see. Let's take a look at this from the velocity perspective. And there's your rotation right in here. It's not particularly concentrated, however, the radar beam is on the radar is just on the east side of Nashville. And so as this radar beam is going out, it's actually shooting pretty high up in the storm right now. It's not shooting the lower levels, but there's definite rotation in this area. And I'm going to look at some information from the National Weather Service here. There were lots of reports of funnel clouds to the south with the southern storm earlier. See the Centerville camera, the Weather Service says there's hail in the storm, so it's definitely hailing. It's definitely a rotating storm. And let's see here. They're going to continue this to probably issue tornado warnings unless this storm significantly weakens. I expect them to continue to issue tornado warnings for this storm as it goes into Williamson County. It's still got a little bit to go before it gets into Williamson County, but it's on its way. The Storm Prediction Center is got this moderate or this enhanced risk of severe weather. The greatest window again is going to be between about now and about 7 or 8 o'clock in the evening for the entire Middle Tennessee area. So certainly something that we'll be watching carefully as we go through the rest of the afternoon. Trying to make sure that I get this link over to Eve, producer Eve, and let's see. Let's try this, producer Eve. So I should be streaming on Facebook and also on YouTube. So you can use either one of those channels. Just trying to make sure that my link is working on YouTube. I know it's working on Facebook right now. All right, so let's go back to the conventional radar picture. So this is a classic, this is developing into a classic supercell thunderstorm. This thunderstorm looks a lot like May 8th of last year, 2024, when the tornado hit Columbia. So this is a textbook classic supercell thunderstorm. These are the most dangerous. They're going to come from the southwest, go to the northeast. They're going to be having that potential for tornado. Again, I'm looking off on the left side of the picture to see if I see anything, and I don't as of the moment, but let me take a look from this perspective here. I think there's your lowered cloud base right there. So that's from Pleasantville, looking that way. So the hook is becoming more defined. So Williamson County, heads up, in the next 30-ish, 25 to 30 minutes, it's going to come across Centerville. It's coming into downtown Centerville now. It's going to cross the eastern part of the county. It's going to go across Prim Springs. It's going to come very close, it's going to go over Leapers Fork. It's going to go into Fairview, Franklin. I think Fairview, it's likely going to stay just to the south of rotation. Now, Fairview, you're going to get very heavy rain. You're going to get a lot of lightning, and you're likely going to see some hail. But if it continues on its current track, the rotation center is going to pass just to your south. It's going to pass down from about Fernvale south. So it's not going to miss you by much, but you are going to get into some very heavy rain and the potential for some hail as well. The hail signature isn't looking quite as strong as it was a little earlier, but the hook is becoming very well defined with this cell. Let's see. All right. And that's really the only cell we have. We have more storms, severe storms back to the west, and we have this massive line of severe thunderstorms back over West Tennessee. So we're going to see waves of thunderstorms, but I've just got to tell you from experience, no guarantees, but when you get these cells ahead of the line, we've got dew points in the 70s, so a lot of moisture to work with. We've got temperatures in the 80s. Man, the hook is really starting to wrap up. We're going to see, I think our risk of a tornado is rising here across Hickman County. Let me see what the Weather Service is saying on this. Watching a cell in northern Murray County that's ahead of it. That's this. It's got a little bit of rotation with it, but it's the main cell there. Let's see, multiple trees down in northern Perry County. So Perry County is Linden. So as this storm came across Perry County, it downed a bunch of trees, And I do not like the look of that hook at all. At all. Let's see. Let's see if we can get a picture from this camera. Nope. Power might be out there. Let's see about this camera. So this camera's Centerville is right in the middle of the worst of the storm. Let me see here. 40-mile-an-hour wind being reported right now with that cell as it's moving over Centerville. Next up is Williamson County. You are not in a tornado warning yet, but I'm pretty sure that you are going to be here shortly. Franklin, Leapers Fork, Thompson Station, Burwood, those are all areas that need to be mindful this storm is coming. So you've got one cell that's ahead of it right now. This is not warned for, but it's coming through Greenbrier and White Oak. It's coming across Garrison Road now. This is not the main part of the cell that's rotating. That's a little cell ahead of it, but you're getting it. See, there's your rotation there that's lifting up north of Fly, coming up out of Murray County. It's along Highway 7 right now, but the bigger storm is this rotation back over Centerville right now. So you've actually got two rotations. One that's over northern Murray County. The Weather Service is watching it. They're not issuing a warning for that yet. But they have issued a tornado warning for the one behind it that's coming through Centerville. It is now, the worst of it's crossed across Centerville. It's going to go across Little Lot here in Hickman County. It's going to go across Prim Springs or very close to it, passing between Shady Grove and Little Lot. That is the hook. So what's happening here is this storm is rotating, and it's rotating so strongly, it's pulling in drier air from the south and the east side of the storm, and it's actually pulling that dry air in, and it's creating that hook. And so you get that bend, and that's also where, let's say, for instance, you're in Little Lot, you've got storminess to the east of you. You're in the calm right now in Little Lot before the biggest of the storm would hit. So if we've got a tornado, it would be right around Rogers Road and Duck River, Toddy's Bend Road, right in through there, Toddy's Bend Road, Cedar Park Road. This is in the Centerville area. So if you live in that region, make sure that you're ready for this storm as it's moving. Now we're starting to see this purple here? That purple is hail. That is also an indication you've got a very strong updraft. The stronger the updraft, the healthier the storm, the higher the risk of a tornado in a lot of cases. Let me take a look. Still, it's just pouring rain over that camera, so I can't see anything. Let me see if this camera's showing anything yet. Yeah, so it's shooting the backside of the storm, just a lot of ragged, low clouds. But take this tornado warning seriously. So the next in line, I can almost guarantee you, next couple of minutes, the Weather Service is going to issue a tornado warning for Williamson County. It's also going to include the northwest corner of Murray County. Let's see here what else is coming here. Just looking at some information from the Weather Service. They're watching this cell very, very carefully. So there's a little wider view. It's probably going to take a track something like this from Centerville over toward Fly, Little Lot, Prim Springs, Leapers Fork, then into Franklin, unless it goes maybe just to the south of that where the worst of it. This is going to be a big, big storm, though, as it comes across Williamson County. And it's all indications are it's strengthening still. That is a very healthy storm that has that classic look. Also, we have, because of the rainfall that we had earlier in the morning, we have so much moisture in the air. It's very easy for those clouds that are rotating. There's enough moisture to help that come down to the ground pretty easily. That is some very large hail now, also, that's along Highway 100, near Highway 100 and Bell Branch Trail, Bradford Road, Spears Road, coming into that area. That is very large hail on the order of probably uh, at least ping pong ball size. Now they issued so the Weather Service has issued a severe thunderstorm warning for this storm. They are holding off on issuing a tornado warning for Williamson County. Let's see what their reasoning is here. Severe thunderstorm warning. Hail up to 1.75 inches, winds of 70 miles an hour. They are considering that the rotation that's there right now is broad enough. It's not tight enough that they're willing to do a tornado warning for it yet. But if just so now you're in a severe thunderstorm warning for much of Williamson County, including Franklin, Leapers Fork, Prim Springs, Fairview, you're in the severe thunderstorm warning. This extends into Bellevue and also Forest Hills and Brentwood. So we know we've got at least large hail in the pink areas here, but they're as strong as a hook echo as that's got. And with the rotation that we've got in it, Weather Service is saying it's just not quite broad enough or tight enough for us to issue a tornado warning on it. So just taking a look here. So severe thunderstorm warning. It could be upgraded to a tornado warning at any time. Let's read the severe thunderstorm warning. And if you'll see right here, it says in this, we call that a tornado possible tag. So they're saying, yes, it's a severe thunderstorm warning. We are going to say that there is a possible tornado with it. It could be upgraded to a tornado warning at any time. We're just not going to issue a tornado warning for it yet. But they are putting in what's called a considerable tag on it as well, meaning that winds of 70 miles an hour or stronger, which have already had a history of doing wind damage down in Perry County. Now, this is an area of rotation too that could have some strong winds with the little cell that merged ahead of this one. So we've got another area of hail too. So this is just a mass. This is a supercell thunderstorm that swallowed another storm. Here's the storm it's swallowed. Now it's got high winds of up to 70 miles an hour, putting down a lot of lightning, and it's also got hail with it in at least two areas. One area of hail going across Greens Chapel Road here on the very west side of Franklin, moving toward Pinewood Road. And then we've got this other larger area of hail coming up Highway 100. It's approaching Highway 230 and Highway 100. And it's going to come up along Prim Springs Road and eventually cross Highway 7 to the southeast of Fairview, or southwest of Fairview. There's another little wider view of it. We'll put this into motion again. So what the Weather Service is going to watch for to see if any strengthening or any tightening of that rotation. So here's the rotation. So if you were to see the brighter blues here and kind of light bluish greens, and you were to see more of this red that was right next to it, that's when they'll issue the tornado warning. Here's the weak rotation to the east of there, approaching Smarden, that again is going over Green Chapel Road right now. So there could be some strong damaging winds with it. But this is even if it's, whether it's got a tornado with it or not, that is a monster thunderstorm that's going to be producing damage with a history of trees down and also now large hail. Take a look at this picture from Centerville, kind of on the back side of the storm. Just an ugly sky. Ugly sky. Here, let me open that back up. All right, so there's your storm. There's your severe thunderstorm warning in the yellow. Tornado warning still for Hickman County. we'll see if they extend that warning east. Now, they may have included this area of a severe thunderstorm warning for this part of the storm. They may still extend that tornado warning east as this part of the storm gets a little closer to the county line. So let's take a look back at the velocity data. Still showing those signs of rotation. Bigger rotation here, weaker rotation here. So 2 areas of rotation. This is the storm that kind of swallowed up. So heavy rains with some lightning and potential for some strong winds. This is Pinewood Road, so there's the Natchez Trace. The Hillsboro Elementary Middle is going to be right here. You've got Leapers Fork. There's Old Hillsboro, where Old Hillsboro turns into Leapers Creek right at Pinewood Road. And then Pinewood Road, almost the entire run of Pinewood Road up to really all the way to Highway 100, covered up in heavy rainfall. We've got more new cells kind of developing. And here's something that may be happening too now. Let me put this into motion for you. You can see how these little cells are kind of merging into the storm. Sometimes as that happens, that helps to disrupt the flow, the inflow of the storm. And at least temporarily, that could also be what's happening. So you'll see that there's, to the south of here, except for this little cell back over Lawrence County, there's really nothing over Lewis County or southern Murray County. So once these cells kind of get swallowed up into the storm and then there are no more cells that are merging with it, we'll see if that's a period where it could cycle back to stronger. I mean, it's extremely strong and severe as it is. We'll have to see if it really, it could start to spin up again to a stronger mode of circulation. That is just a nasty, nasty looking supercell thunderstorm. All right. So starting to get rain in Franklin, and then the worst of the thunderstorms are down west of West Haven, really from around Old Hillsboro Road into Leapers Fork, very heavy rains. Then the worst part of the storm coming through from Lyles and Wrigley down to the south toward Little Lot, coming into Prim Springs now, and that circulation is crossing, about to cross Duck River near Little Lot Road on the north side of Shady Grove, headed toward Jones Valley, headed toward Johnson's Mill, headed toward Kinderhook. Passing, the rotation will likely pass to the south of the old ghost town of Prim Springs. And let's see what the Weather Service is planning on doing here with this. Yeah, so these cells that are merging into the south side of the storm, it's clear that they're kind of disrupting things a little bit. It could be just a temporary disruption, very strong, very heavy rains, blinding rains with this cell, but that is hopefully disrupting the inflow, the clean inflow into the storm, and disrupting a little bit the circulation. We'll just have to see how that plays out over the next 30 minutes, because that's some pretty strong winds at the very least. Some pretty strong winds here. And a little more information from the Weather Service. Severe thunderstorm warning remains in effect until 5 for southwestern Davidson, southeastern Dixon, northern Murray, Williamson, and northeastern Hickman counties. Potential for hail, 2.5 inches in diameter now. So golf ball size hail and 70-mile-per-hour winds. Weather Service is saying as of 2 minutes ago, big hail headed straight for Franklin. Let's hope this storm loses some steam. So golf ball size hail reported at Hickman County High School. So that's all kind of matching what we've been seeing on the radar. Definitely. Something to definitely watch as this continues to come into from the west. And we'll see again, there are no more little cells kind of riding up into the south side of this storm. And so we'll have to watch to see if that's going to be improving the inflow and giving us a higher chance again of seeing a tornado. So severe thunderstorm warning for Williamson County, southern Davidson County, eastern Hickman County. The tornado warning officially still just on the south side of Prim Springs to Johnson's Mill. That's where the strongest of the circulation continues to be. That's going to be riding up into pretty much the border where the Prim Springs mailing address and the Franklin mailing address meet in the southern part of Williamson County, near Green Chapel Road, near Walker Hill Road, and it's going to cross over 840 and then go up into, it'll go either into or just east of Leapers Fork. Let's see. Let me see if I can sit a little closer here. Let me adjust something. And I'll sit a little closer to things so maybe you can hear me a little bit better. And I'll also kind of ratchet this up. So again, here's what we've got going on. We've got this supercell thunderstorm that is moving out of Hickman County into Williamson County. The north side of it is going to affect Davidson County with heavy rain, lightning. The core of the storm is going to move through Williamson County. It has shown signs at times of some pretty strong rotation. It has had a tornado warning with it. They have chosen, or right for the moment, they're choosing not to extend that tornado warning. The worst of what was the circulation is going to pass between Fly, Hilltown, and Santa Fe along Highway 7. And then it's going to move to the northeast, and it's going to be moving along Leapers Creek Road, right along Leapers Creek Road as it crosses from Murray County into Williamson County. It's going to move over Boston, and it's going to come very close to Thompson Station. It's going to pass between Thompson Station and Burwood. If you know Carter's Creek Road, where Carter's Creek and 840, that interchange, looks like the circulation is going to be passing between there and the Columbia Pike exit on 840. So between the Carter's Creek exit and the Columbia Pike exit on 840 is where what's left over of that circulation is likely going to be passing across. The hail is really coming down now. It's affecting the south side, or will affect the south side of Fairview. The hail is coming across now. Vaughn Road, Buck Litton Road. It's going to cross Darty Capley Road and come up into Craigfield. It's going to cross Pinewood Road at Craigfield is where we're going to see some hail. And actually that hail is probably, and this is large hail, large damaging hail. Pull the cars in the carport, pull the cars in the garage. It's coming in now. Lampley Road, Barnhill Road, Shoals Branch Road, Bradford Road, and it's going to all through that area there from Craigfield down to Old Flagpole Hill. There's going to have large hail with it, at least quarter size, and likely going to see some golf ball sized hail with this too. And that's going to go after it's going to cross 840. It's going to create havoc as it crosses 840, and then it's going to go across Deer Ridge Road, Pewitt Road, South Harpeth Road. It's going to be a big hail maker there. Here's what's left over of the circulation on the south side. Let's take a look at that again. It's right in there. It's crossing over Santa Fe and Fly along Highway 7 and about to come into Williamson County. Still holding off on a tornado warning, issuing just a severe thunderstorm warning. I do want to mention there's a new tornado warning out to the west, and this would include, looks like a storm's going to pass just on the south side of Camden, so north of Parsons and head toward Humphreys County, and that could affect Dixon County, north side of Dixon County if it holds together. And then you've got this massive line of storms back to the west of there. Let me take a look at a couple of these cameras, see if I see anything. nothing in particular there. Now, I do think, again, going to watch. This is a supercell thunderstorm. This is the kind of thunderstorm that could produce a tornado at any minute. Right now, it's likely holding off on producing a tornado because the inflow was interrupted a little bit by by some cells that developed and moved up into it, kind of blocked that clean inflow. But I think we're about to see, it looks like it might be trying to cycle just a little bit and get a little stronger again. Your hail, the hail signature is dropping just a little bit, but it's starting to cross 840 at Deer Ridge Road. It's crossing Pinewood Road right at Deer Ridge Road, and it's going to ride along Deer Ridge. And there's some hail still falling back along Barnhill Road, Westlick Creek, Shoals Branch, all through that area. Lampley Road is going to cross. It's just south of the core of Fairview. Here's Fairview along Highway 100. You're getting heavy rain, some lightning as well, but the heaviest of the hail is likely going to pass to your south from Pinewood, Old Pinewood School to the south. And then the rotation center, what's left over of it, is still to the south of there, crossing Highway 7, still around Santa Fe. The circulation's been all disrupted. So that's great news that the circulation with this storm has been disrupted, and it's kind of hodgepodge and scattered right now. The question will it be able to concentrate back as it moves deeper into Williamson County? The other good news is that with the way the cell is moving now, what's left over of that circulation may pass south of Franklin, between Franklin and Thompson Station. So south side of Franklin, definitely going to have to be mindful. Down Columbia Pike, down Lewisburg Pike, down Interstate 65, Carter's Creek Pike, the Goose Creek bypass area. You're gonna want to watch as the storm comes across your area. So it's got three big threats. One, incredibly heavy rain, blinding rains. I mean, it's crossing Interstate 840. It's crossing 840 right now with some blinding rains. Just, it's a mess there, I can tell you now. And then we've got the hail coming through the western part of Williamson County, southwest in Prim Springs. Some very large hail redeveloping here. Again, on Westlick Creek Road, about to cross Shoals Branch Road, where Shoals Branch and Westlick Creek split by Potts Garage there. You're going to see some large hail, and that's just going to keep trucking off to the east-northeast. At least quarter size, could be golf ball size hail. And we're also seeing another area of some hail develop down along the Natchez Trace Parkway here in the northern part of Murray County, near Tom Railroad and Beard Road, by the large dairy farm there. You're seeing hail as well up on the ridge there. You get some really pretty views up on that ridge, and it's hailing, beginning to hail pretty hard there. Franklin, right at the square right now, we're dry, but it's going to start raining here pretty heavily. The heavy rain's coming in through Leapers Fork now, Kingfield, back into Fernvale. This is very heavy rainfall rates. But we're still seeing kind of a disruption in the circulation with this. Let's take a look one more time at the velocity data. Now, we may be trying to see a little bit of reorganization in the circulation. I don't know if that's the first sign of it. I have to watch that very carefully. Watch this area back in here very carefully. That could be a new circulation developing with that cell. See what the Weather Service is saying. 2-inch hail reported near Highway 100 and 230 North in Centerville. Let's see. They continued the severe thunderstorm warning. You're going to have the phones going off with your phone warnings in Davidson and Williamson County because they've added this destructive tag to the warning. And what I mean by that is let's just read it together here. Tornado warning possible. Severe thunderstorm located near Fairview, south of Fairview. We are seeing very heavy rains and hail very close to Fairview right now. Baseball-sized hail and 70-mile-an-hour winds. Golf ball-sized hail and trees were blown down in Centerville as that storm came across. That's when we started covering it. And because of that, you're going to get warnings on your phone for it, even though it's not a tornado warning. The hail is really hitting hard now. Oscar Green Road, Green Chapel Road. It's about to cross Walker Hill Road. This is ping pong to golf ball sized hail in these bright purple areas, and that's going to cross Pinewood Road and 840. We're seeing Fairview. You're still seeing some very heavy rainfall, but the hail is to the south. Could be some small hail up around Darty Estates and Fernvale, but the biggest hail, I mean, that is a massive hail core right there. And that's going to come very close to Leapers Fork. So again, if you live between Prim Springs and Leapers Fork, make sure that you pull your car in the garage or under cover. This is that new circulation that I'm kind of watching here. It's not particular. It's there, but it hasn't strengthened since I last looked. So that's good news. So putting down a lot of lightning. Let me take a look and see what I can see also here. As the storm moves across. Taking a look at a camera in that area where the storm is hitting now. It's loud. It's going to be very active through that whole Franklin area. Let's see. And so now that hail core is lined up along Pinewood Road. It's hailing on Pinewood Road, basically from Smith Road, which is near the old Pinewood Elementary School, all the way back past Shoals Branch, past Pewitt Road, past Walker Hill Road, all the way to the 840 interchange is where we're seeing hail along that stretch with this cell. And it's headed, if it holds on its track, we're going to see the potential of it there in Franklin, trying to develop now. Now here's where we need to watch it carefully, because there are no more cells developing to the south that are going to be disrupting that inflow. And so right there, we've got a new notch developing, a new hook developing over Santa Fe. And will that strengthen? You notice see how it's getting stronger again? Let's take a look at the velocity data. Yeah, so here's your circulation right there. There's also a second one up here, but there's a circulation. Could be getting some hail contamination too, but we'll have to watch. So there are no more storms to impede the flow of air into that storm. And so this could be a period where we see it strengthen even more or start rotating again. Yeah, I think we're starting to see an increase in the rotation right through here. So we're going to have to watch it. Let's see what the Weather Service, if the Weather Service is making note of that. Yeah, lots and lots of reports of hail between Centerville and Prim Springs. Yeah. So the entire Middle Tennessee area is under a tornado watch. Oh, here's the good news. So that hail core temporarily looks like it's weakened, and so the hail size might be going down temporarily. I think it's going to pick up again between Pinewood Road and Franklin, but at least temporarily the hail signature has waned just a little bit. And so the hail may not be quite as big as it's coming across Pinewood now from 840 east into Loopers Fork on Pinewood Road. So that's a good sign. We'll watch that. New storm around Dixon. No severe thunderstorm warning with it yet. Tornado warning continues for this storm out toward Camden. Take a look at this. That's moving off toward New Johnsonville. That's going to be coming into Humphreys County. And then a severe line of thunderstorms back to the west of there, coming out of West Tennessee. So we're going to see this big cell first, then maybe a couple of other cells, and then a line of thunderstorms that'll come through a little later on this evening. I think your biggest tornado threat are with these two cells right here, the one coming into Franklin and the one that's back over the Camden area, just south of Camden. Those are your two big potential tornado threats. Back to the storm here in Franklin. This is a supercell thunderstorm, still putting down quite a bit of lightning. And rotation is still there. It's actually in a couple of pockets kind of here and there scattered. But again, fortunately, the hail signature has weakened. But this would be the time, because there are no storms down to the south that would be interfering with the inflow, that we'd have to watch for re-strengthening. Because these cells tend to have a life cycle. They tend to strengthen and then weaken, strengthen and then weaken. But even though they hold together as a whole. So, let me see. I'm going to check some more information here to see, kind of get a better idea also of what people are seeing with these storms. Yeah, a lot of people are thankful that the hail core has seemed to wane a little bit. This is a massive storm, though, massive thunderstorm. So we're getting very heavy rains coming into downtown Franklin at the moment, and almost about 2/3 of the county of Williamson County are covered up by the storm. So in Davidson County, the worst of this cell, you're going to get some heavy rain in Bellevue. It's coming out of Pasco right now. It's going to move into the heart of Bellevue. But by far, the worst of this storm is going to be passing to your south. The hail threat really is to your south. The strongest wind threat is to your south with this particular thunderstorm. You do have another cell back over Dixon. Looks like it might be trying to develop a little rotational tail here. Yeah, it's got some rotation with it. No warning with it, but that could be a storm if it strengthens that would more directly affect Cheatham and then Davidson County. This cell is going to likely stay for the most part. The northern side is coming through the southern part of Davidson County, Bellevue into Forest Hills, Green Hills, Brentwood. But the worst of the storm is over Williamson County. And now with the way that this cell is kind of developing, it was moving northeast. Now it looks like it might be trying to take a turn east. We call that a right mover. If that's the case, then the worst of the storm, as far as the worst rotational threat, could be staying to the south of Franklin, closer to Thompson Station. It's going to pass on the north side of Spring Hill and go in through Thompson Station and miss downtown Franklin to the south. Now, there's still the potential for some hail in downtown Franklin that'll come across West Haven into downtown Franklin, at least pea-sized hail with this. But the big hail that was occurring not long ago has really shrunk. Now, there's another side to the storm, though. It's back building a bit to the west. And so another area of rotation looks like it might be trying to develop back through around Prim Springs and Hickman County. And so we'll have to see how this develops. Is this going to increase and then kind of follow this storm in? But you've actually got two areas of potential rotation with this storm. One is along the Williamson-Murray County line that's going to clip the north side of Spring Hill and move into Thompson Station. It's about to cross Carter's Creek coming out of theta. And there's your broad circulation right there. And then there's your secondary area of circulation back here to the south of Prim Springs in Hickman County, on the Hickman County side. There's your lightning. Again, not seeing nearly the signature of hail that we were seeing back over western Williamson County, back around Craig Field, the Williamson County side of Prim Springs, Beasley Cross Road, Shoals Branch Road, back in there that we saw earlier. That area is now coming through Leapers Fork now. Still could be some at least pea-sized hail with it, and going down toward Burwood as well. But hopefully the worst of the hail is not going to return. Let's see. We are going to see a tornado warning coming out from northern Lawrence County with a new cell. Lots of reports of hail near Golf Ball, at Natchez Trace and Bending Chestnut. That's that area that was showing those really bright pinks a little while ago that I was talking about. Leapers Fork area to the west of Leapers Fork, really large hail. So yeah, that storm has a history of producing a lot of hail, and again, at least pea-sized hail still falling with it. This is the new tornado warning storm. This is coming out of the northern part of Lawrence County going into Murray County. It's a small, compact cell, but we did have a cell that had a funnel cloud earlier with it in the same area. So the Weather Service is just saying, look, this is an environment right now that looks like it's really conducive, even with the little cells, to potentially produce tornadoes. So they're going to issue a tornado warning for it. And so they have, let me take a look at this. Temperatures, you can see, are in the 80s. So we've got a lot of warmth, really humid air, some rain-cooled 72 in Dixon. Here's your tornado warning storm in and around Camden. And let's take a look at that from the Paducah radar. See what that rotation looks like. Yeah, it's got tight rotation on the southwest side of it. If that storm holds together, it'll be affecting parts of Dixon County over the next hour, so it's going to affect Humphreys County first. So the good news is on this cell that's going over Franklin, we are starting to see signs. Okay, that's from the Paducah radar. Let's take a look back at it from the Nashville radar. It could be rotation kind of tight, trying to tighten up here. Coming across Spring Hill, going into Thompson Station. It's on the north side of Spring Hill. Let me take a look at it. Yeah, so it's in this notch right here. It could be some circulators. Looks like a little circulation east of Thompson Station, another one to the west of Thompson Station, another one back over Fly. But this one, we'll have to see if that's trying to organize into something more. It's just a severe thunderstorm warning for it. We also... Oh, no, here's your tornado warning I was talking about for Lawrence and Murray County. That warning does include Columbia, but the cell is still back down around Summertown, so it's still a ways away. We'll have to watch that. Now, that's moving more northeast. That could come through Columbia, and then that could clip the southeast corner of Williamson County if it holds together. Franklin, still very heavy rainfall coming through, the potential for some small hail as well. Severe thunderstorm warning remains in effect until 5 o'clock for northeastern Murray and Williamson counties. Let's see. The severe thunderstorm that produced that warning continues with the potential for 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts and the redevelopment of up to golf ball size hail. So, yeah, the Weather Service is also mentioning that the Williamson County storm has turned due east. So again, that's what I was mentioning is kind of spared Nashville. Channel 5 is mentioning that they're on their Skynet camera on Interstate 65 in the Cool Springs area. They can see what they think is maybe some rotation in the clouds. We certainly are going to have a lot of low-hanging clouds in this area. as this storm. This is an ugly, ugly storm that's coming through this area. Just nasty looking. Supercell thunderstorm, classic supercell thunderstorm. The rotation, so there still could be some hail contamination, but we may, I'm telling you, right over Thompson Station, appears something's going on. Severe thunderstorm warning continues for this. This is right along Columbia Pike between Thompson Station and Spring Hill. It's in this area right in here. So along where Columbia and Buckner intersect, Thompson Ridge Road, Spring Hill Circle, right pretty much in the downtown Spring Hill area on the north side. It's a suspicious looking area right there. Potential for at least some strong winds. Let me see what it looks like from the south. Same thing showing up. Yeah, so there is rotation right there. That's definitely rotation. I wouldn't be surprised if we get I'm sure the Weather Service is eyeing that for a warning. It's just very suspicious looking. Right in that hook right there. Now we're starting to get more hail. So it's the updraft is strengthening again. We're getting hail again along Carter's Creek Pike, and that's going to cross over Kennard Springs Road. So this is coming up into the south, just south of Franklin. There's Coleman Road, Carter's Creek, and Coleman. So Kennard Springs Road in the subdivision of Kennard Springs, likely going to see some hail. King Lane, it's going to cross Coleman Road. It's going to go up across Columbia. And that area of it could be affecting the south side of Franklin, Durham Manor, Oakleaf Estates, where Mac Hatcher comes into Columbia Pike, close to that area, you could be seeing some hail. And then on the south side of that, over Thompson Station, where Columbia Pike and Thompson Station Road intersect, there's still this potential for some circulation there. No tornado warning, severe thunderstorm warning with it, but that is still a beast of a storm. Yeah, so here comes, that's another scan here. So now the hail is going over Kennard Springs. It's going across Carter's Creek. The hail is going to come up into South Hall. So we're going to get reports of hail in South Hall Farms, at least quarter-sized, perhaps up to ping-pong size. But south of there, I think we're going to see around Coleman Road and Carter's Creek and Kennard Springs, maybe golf ball size hail there. Ping-pong to golf ball size hail. Moving off toward the east, you got downtown Franklin, very heavy rain all the way out. And there's West Haven, and then the back edge of some of the heaviest rains coming, about to cross over where Old Hillsboro and Highway 96 cross. Let's see. It's interesting in that it's got little small embedded circulations, which could also be an indication that we're seeing some very strong wind gusts in pockets with this thunderstorm. So take a look again at the Weather Service data here. Yeah, they're updating the severe thunderstorm warning for Williamson County back to baseball size hail based on what they're seeing too. They had baseball size hail or tennis ball size hail in Bon Aqua as it came across along Highway 100. You're getting a tornado warning for Stewart County. So they're starting to get really busy there at the Weather Service with all these. Let me zoom back out over the whole scene here. There's your severe thunderstorm warning for Williamson County with the hail and strong wind producer, but long history of producing back over Perry County wind damage, and then a long history through Hickman and Williamson County of large hail. And then you've got tornado warning for Lawrence County into Murray County for a really small compact cell, but it's rotating. And if it continues on its current track, could come up into Columbia. You've got a tornado warning now that includes Camden, and that will be moving off toward the east into parts of Humphreys County as well. And then we got a new tornado warning, Stewart County, including Dover. And that's with the line of thunderstorms and embedded circulation within a line of thunderstorms. So this is going to go on for the next few hours. I think probably your biggest tornado threat continues ahead of the line. Once you end up, you can get tornadoes within a line of thunderstorms. It's just sometimes harder to keep them really organized for very long because they're competing with each other. All the storms compete with each other inside that line for energy, whereas the storms ahead of the line they're fighting with fewer storms for energy. And so your biggest tornado producers tend to be in these supercells ahead of these lines. Let's see what this is looking like back in Williamson County. Yeah, it must be some hail contamination there. But very strong winds could be affecting areas east of Thompson Station now, where Thompson Station Road goes over Interstate 65 or intersects with Interstate 65. It's coming into Critz Lane as well, just on the south side of 840. And then here's your large hail where it's moved into up to golf ball size hail, at least maybe baseball size hail. There's Luna Lane off of Old Carters Creek Pike and Incinerator Road getting hail here. Also Kittrell Road. Now that's going to continue moving toward Coleman Road. So I will say, so there's the update. So it's going across Henpeck Lane now. We're getting hail. It's probably pretty loud with hail at Coleman Road and Columbia Pike, at Henpeck Road and Columbia Pike. There's the intersection there. There's where the Target and the Kroger and the Tractor Supply is at the intersection of Mac Hatcher and Columbia, getting hail there. So it's going to cross Columbia Avenue with a lot of hail right there at Mac Hatcher. And then off toward the east, it's going to continue to move. Baseball size hail was reported on Pinewood Road. Let's see here. Goose Creek Bypass. Dolly near you, probably the largest of the hail looks like it's passing just to your north, but you've probably seen quite a bit of hail, some pretty large hailstones where you are. It's going to cross Berry Farms. It's going to get hail out of this. And then really from Berry Farms north all the way up to Mac Hatcher, and maybe even a little farther north than Mac Hatcher too. So Carnton Plantation, it's going to cross Lewisburg Pike, and it's going to go across. If it holds together and we continue to see the hail, we're going to see hail crossing Interstate 65 from around Highway 96 and 65 down to the south, Carruthers Parkway, some of these other areas. Ladd Park is going to get into the mix here, Red Wing Farms, Riverview Park, all of these areas, Durham Manor. And so Durham Manor, the hail is coming across you now. It's crossing Lewisburg Pike, your Red Wing Farms, Old Paytonsville Road. Some hail falling, at least, maybe not quite as big as just to the north, but some hail falling right there, likely at the Publix in Berry Farms. South side of downtown Franklin, just south of downtown Franklin. Going to cross Interstate 65 from around Highway 96 down to the south, going across Ladd Park. And then I haven't looked in a few minutes at the velocity data here. Nothing, just embedded pockets of pretty strong winds, but nothing too organized. and you can see we've got other cells that are kind of merging into the south side. That's good because it's likely disrupting the flow and keeping it from becoming as strong as it could with circulation that would lead to a tornado. Now this cell down to the south of there doesn't have that. It's small, it's much smaller, but this cell has a tornado warning for it coming up through Mount Pleasant and coming into, it's going to ride up into Columbia. The circulation with it is kind of broad. It's not very tight either, so that's good news as well. So 3 tornado warnings right now: Murray County, and then back over Camden, and Decatur County, and then Stewart County. The next, if that held together, would be Montgomery County. I think your 3 cells that have the biggest tornado potential in the next hour would be Williamson County, even though you're just under severe thunderstorm warning, but for very large hail, history of large hail, and then Murray County, and then also back over Decatur County. Put this into motion for you. You can see the way everything's moving. I'm going to check on some more data here. Let's see. Yeah, it would be nice if we don't see any tornadoes out of this. Fairview, for now, you're in the break between this cell and more storms to the west. But this was probably going to be the biggest cell of the day that would affect Fairview. We'll have to watch as the line comes through a little later with strong straight line winds especially. And then some really large hail starting to form across Murray County. That holds together, that could clip the southeastern corner of Williamson County. Nashville, the worst really missed you. Bellevue, you're seeing a break. You could be seeing a little bit of rain with this as we go through the next hour or so. You've got more cells back to the west across Dixon County and Cheatham County, and then you have the big line over West Tennessee moving into the western part of Middle Tennessee. So even though right now you're seeing a break in Fairview, we've got more cells that'll be developing and coming in until this front comes through. But I'm hoping that the tornado threat for you has really gone down. Still seeing hail across the east side of Franklin from around Williamson Medical Center down Carruthers Parkway into Ladd Park. And that's going to continue moving off toward the east. We're starting to see a break in some of the heavy strain. We do have some heavy downpours coming back through Leaper's Fork. But the western part of the county has turned much calmer. Fairview to Fernvale, back down into Prim Springs where there's a little bit of rain. More cells developing to the south across Hickman County and Murray County. This is the strongest cell down to the south that's going to be coming up into Columbia with a chance of some hail. Still in the 80s here, so plenty of juice for those cells to work with. You see what the Weather Service is saying. Anymore, I'm sure they're getting just flooded with reports of hail. Yeah, Thompson Station, at least tennis ball size hail. Larger than golf balls on the south side of Franklin. Big hail reported in Thompson Station. And then it does look like that that cell that's down over Murray County coming up into Columbia does have at least a wall cloud developing with it. Maybe a funnel cloud. So that's going to have to be one that's going to be watched very carefully. That is this cell right here coming out of Mount Pleasant, lifting north. You're seeing on some cameras down here, they're seeing what looks like a wall cloud or maybe even a funnel cloud trying to develop. I'm not going to be able to see anything good from that perspective there. Let's see what I see over here. So while we're seeing this massive hail producer coming through Williamson County now, and there's some very large hail right here across Arno Road, Cedarview Lane, right as you turn off of Highway 96 or Murfreesboro Road down off of Arno Road. Okay, the hail's getting really big now along Highway 96. We're likely seeing, again, anywhere from ping pong to tennis-sized ball hail, Trinity County Park, Highway 96, Arno Road, North Chapel Road, Trinity Road, all of those intersections on the east side of Franklin, Trinity Road, Ladd Road in Trinity, Arno Road in Trinity, very big hail. So we're going to have a lot of big hail reports coming out of that as it continues moving off toward the east. And they'll extend the severe thunderstorm warning to include the eastern part of the county, including Nolensville, and Triune and Arrington here in just a minute. This is the tornado warning storm down to the south. It's got a cloud lowering on it according to some storm spotters, and there's your rotation right here coming into Hopewell and Bigbyville. That does look like it's getting a little bit better organized. It's also got some hail that's right around Bigbyville. Hail is falling at the intersection of Campbellsville Pike and Neely Hollow Road. So again, Fairview, you're in a break. Prim Springs, you've got some lighter showers, but you've got a break. And that's the way it's looking right now. So the good news is for Nashville and for really Williamson County, for the short term, the tornado threat has waned and has gone down. We're going to continue to see the hail moving out of eastern Williamson County. Really, Davidson County, you're looking good. And so I'm going to watch this cell over Murray County. But for now, I think I'm going to give it a little bit of a break, catch a breather. No tornado warnings for Davidson or Williamson County at the moment. Again, we're going to have to watch that storm down over that's going to move into Columbia. And then do expect this isn't the last of the storms. There's going to be more waves of storms coming later this evening as the front comes in. And there will likely be more warnings, and I'll be watching for those, and we'll go back on just in case it's needed. But thanks, everybody, for watching. Everybody stay safe and certainly pay attention to any warnings if you end up going under a warning.